You treat women with respect, you listen to them, you are loyal, you are kind, and still she chooses someone else. This is honestly the most soul crushing experience that pretty much every man actually goes through in their life, with the thought process that, okay, I'm showing up as the best version of me in front of her, but why is she choosing someone else over me? Or why is she not even getting attracted to me? And it actually hurts, right? When you do all the right things, but she still cannot see you. You are still invisible in front of her eyes. So in today's video, I really want to talk about why exactly does this happen and what you can do to actually fix this problem. Now, if you're new here, I'm Vesh and I'm a men's relationship coach, and I help men heal with their traumas, attachment issues, and wounded masculinity in order for them to pursue meaningful connection with women. Now, if you want to work on your traumas, your abandonment issues, or even your attachment style, self worth, and confidence, you can reach out to me through Instagram, DM me the keyword coach to book a session with me. So, without any further ado, let's get into the video. So, here is one thing that nobody actually tells you. Being a good man does not mean that you are an attractive man or you have that magnetic quality about you. This is something a lot of men actually do not understand. Being kind and being nice is actually the baseline of human decency. That is something everyone has to do in their life, but that is not something that is going to make you attractive in front of another woman. Being good and kind is actually the starting line, the initial line that you have to step through, but that is not the finish line. What makes a woman notice you is not just only about safety, it is about the quality in you that actually makes her feel more of herself, that actually makes her feel that she can be herself in front of you. And if you cannot hold that safe masculine container for her, no matter how nice you are, no matter how kind you are, she is not going to be able to get attracted to you because she just sees you as someone who is kind, but she does not see you as someone who is an able and capable man. And when you do that, you actually avoid tension, you avoid confrontation, you avoid boundaries because you don't want to hurt her, because you actually care more about her than yourself. But the problem with this kind of an attitude is she does not feel any emotional charge towards you. And in the process of you being very kind and you kind of trying to do the charity work, you are not truly being yourself. You're not being undeniably and authentically being yourself, and that is the problem. And if you're not authentic and you care more about someone else than you, and when you sacrifice your own needs, it gets to the point where you are kind of shape shifting. You camouflage yourself so that she doesn't think of you as a bad person. But in the process of doing that, you are losing your truest masculine essence within you. And when you try to be the most perfect man, the most nicest of all man, you actually kind of remove the emotional charge which is there in the whole game of attraction itself. This does not mean you have to be toxic. This does not mean you have to play games. The only meaning behind this is you have to be authentically yourself without being scared of actually losing the person in front of you. Yes, when she shows up in front of you, you give her your best. But when she is not meeting you in your truth, you are not scared to let go of her. Because when you have the mindset that, hey, no matter what, I don't want to let go of this woman in front of me, this is when you cross your own boundaries. This is when you ignore your own needs. Because for you, having someone else in your life is actually more important than you being happy. Now, think of the last time you actually liked a woman. You would have 100% sacrificed your own needs to be with her. You would have had the mindset, okay, let me show her how good of a man I am, how much I respect her, how far I'm willing to go for her. So you listened, you supported at your own cost, and the problem actually is that you made yourself too available, where you forgot your own life, you forgot your own needs. And what would happen in this case? Anyone who feels that you are too available and you don't have your own life would naturally have the tendency to take advantage of that person. And this is just human nature. And when I say this is just human nature, I'm not justifying it by saying that that's the right thing that someone can do. But a lot of us are actually living our life from a very unconscious place. We are not conscious about our actions. We are not conscious about our needs. We are not conscious about what we do to someone else as well. However, this is one thing that you need to work upon. You cannot be unconscious of your actions. You cannot have a secondary motive even behind being nice to someone else. Because no matter how much you justify it by saying that, hey, I am just like this, I am being a kind person to her, your secondary motive actually is for her to see your value. And often the secondary motive behind these kind of actions are often unconscious and cannot be caught. Now, how do you go about when it comes to making the shift from being invisible to someone who is unforgettable? The main thing that you need to focus on is actually bringing about balance between your goodness and your unapologetic self expression. Self expression means what you actually say to the other person, how you express yourself to the other person. And this has to be unapologetic and truly, you have to stand in your truth. You cannot compromise your needs. You have to take care of your needs. You have to be kind, you have to be respectful. But when someone crosses your boundaries, you don't tolerate that because boundaries are there for self protection. Boundaries are not there so that you break it again and again for the woman that you love. Boundaries are there so that you don't get hurt at the end of the day, and it also gives you a structure when it comes to you being in a relationship as to what exactly are the things that you want, what are the things that you do not want. Even before you get into a connection with a woman, you should be thinking, okay, what do I need from her? What are the things that I want from this relationship? How do I want my woman to actually show up for me? But the thing is, when you start liking someone else, that's the most dangerous moment when a connection is actually being developed. Because here you can do two things. You can ignore your own needs and madly be in love with her, or you can still have your logic operating and think of, okay, is this relationship good for me? Is this connection truly serving me? And you have to set some initial boundaries to actually protect your time, your energy, and your life as well. You cannot make your entire life about this woman, especially in the initial stages of dating. Because, truth be told, you actually don't even know this person. You're still getting to know her. Even when you are in a relationship further down the line, you also need to have your own life where you're focusing on your purpose, your mission, and then you actually create a shared life together. You have to be so fearless when it comes to speaking out your mind in relationships. Yes, sometimes it will hurt the person in front of you, but when you actually withhold something that's bothering you because you're thinking, oh, this might actually hurt her, you are hurting yourself in the process. You are abandoning your needs in this whole process. Good men who are unforgettable aren't that way because they're just nice and kind. They have a fire within them. They have strong value systems. They have strong belief systems which nobody can cross. It doesn't matter if they have anyone in their life or not. Even if it means that they are alone by themselves, they would rather choose that than actually, bending their needs to fit someone else into their life. So, here are some practical ways where you can actually make this shift. Number one is stop being over accommodating. Yes, when you are in a connection, when you are in a relationship, you have to be attuned to your woman's emotions. You have to take care of her, but not to the point where you let someone walk all over you. You don't have to be over accommodating to someone else's needs at the cost of your own needs. And be it a man or be it a woman, everyone has a responsibility to actually indulge themselves into self development. They have to learn how to regulate their own nervous system. Her healing is not your responsibility. If she has any traumas, that is her responsibility to heal. You are there as a partner to support her, but you are not her therapist. And the same goes from her to you as well. She cannot be your everything. You need to have your own life, your own presence, which is grounded. You need to be your strongest pillar, and you cannot make anyone else the center of your entire world because then you start depending on them emotionally. And this is not me telling you to become stoic in nature. There will be times where you have to express your emotional needs to your woman as well. And these are the moments where you actually judge a person if she has the emotional bandwidth to actually understand you, understand what your needs are, and respect what your needs are. Again, this is not a one way street. Both the people in the relationship, they have to put in the efforts to make it work. The second thing that you can do is lead your life with standards. Have dreams for yourself. Have a vision for yourself. Show her that you are inviting her into your life and not that you are changing your life to actually revolve around her. Because you are a man. A woman actually is inside a man's container. The feminine energy, as I say, is the river, and the masculine energy is actually the banks of the river that holds the river. So, in a way, I truly always believe a man welcomes her into his life, and it's not the other way around. And then they build a life together, and then they co create the life together. This also doesn't mean that, a woman cannot have her own say. This does not mean that a woman is not intuitive. She has her own gifts, and then you have your own gifts, and you both make a good team with each other because you both have complementary skills and you both have complementary strengths as well. The third thing you can really focus on is adding unpredictability in the connection. When things get too predictable, that is when, it gets a little bit boring. The best kind of couple who have the most amazing long term relationship, they still have a sense of mystery in the connection where they put in extra efforts, where they have surprise dates for each other, they have surprise activities planned. Because when you are in a long term relationship and you're constantly in the same routine, right? This is where the polarity dies. This is where the attraction dies down. You also have to take space away from each other in a healthy way so that when you come back together, it's after a small phase of missing each other. And this is not to play games. These are things that you both do with mutual conversation and mutual agreements in the relationship to make sure the attraction is alive even years later after, the relationship or even the marriage in itself. Even in the initial days of the connection itself, don't overshare everything all at once. Take time to get to know each other. Every day you ask each other deeper questions, which actually reveals a deeper layer about yourself. Marriages and relationships die down when the curiosity actually dies down. You can be in a relationship even for 8 to 10 years, but you still need to be curious about your partner every single day because we are never the same person. We are changing every single month, we are changing every single year. I am not even the same person that I was 6 months back. I am constantly evolving. And you need to have that kind of curiosity when it comes to being in a relationship with your partner. Now, to actually maintain that sense of curiosity, you both have to be people who work on themselves. You both have to be people who are constantly in the process of growing and evolving. Because if you're not growing and if you have stagnated in your own life, what is there to be curious about, right? So it's about, a small little thing like even maybe reading a book, sharing about what you found in the book interesting with her, asking her perspective on that, and where she also can do something similar with you. This is how you make sure the spark actually stays alive in the connection. So, the thing is, good men do not have to hide their goodness, but they also have to stop dimming down parts of themselves which actually makes them real and authentic. You cannot ignore your own needs. You cannot sacrifice your own boundaries. You always need to love yourself a lot, even if you are in a connection with a woman. And when you combine your goodness with presence, with passion, with strength, that is when you actually become the unforgettable man that a woman naturally gets attracted towards. So, I hope this episode was helpful and insightful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.